Hi and good morning. My name is Abby Chuman. I am the Talking Book and Braille librarian over here at the State Library. We are doing another installation of our bi-monthly book talks. This time we are going to be doing Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult. We do these every couple of months. They're going to be recorded and put onto our YouTube and Facebook pages. They stay online forever. So if you decide in a few years you want to read Wish You Were Here and answer some of the questions, you can absolutely do that. If you have any questions or you want to reserve the book, give us a call. We will be very happy to help you out and get that for you. And like I said, these will be on YouTube as well as Facebook, so you can always refer back to them there. We are going to go ahead and start with our book, which once again is Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult. It came out a couple of years ago, so it's still relatively new. And with that, we're going to start. If I can get this to click. There we go. That is the picture of the book there. It's a nice dark blue book with a little gold-looking finch on the front with a bird. And of course, it says Wish You Were Here and her name. And I am going to read you a little bit of the summary. So it goes, Diana O'Toole is perfectly on track. She will be married by 30, done having kids by 35, and move out to the New York City suburbs, all while climbing the professional ladder in the cutthroat art auction world. She's not engaged just yet, but she knows her boyfriend, Finn, a surgical resident, is about to propose on their romantic getaway to the Galapagos, days before her 30th birthday. Everything is right on time. But then a virus that felt worlds away has appeared in the city, and on the eve of their departure, Finn breaks the news. It's all hands on deck at the hospital. He has to stay behind. You should still go, he assures her, since it would be a shame for all of their non-refundable trip to go to waste. And so, reluctantly, she goes. Almost immediately, Diana's dream vacation goes awry. The whole island is now under quarantine, and she is stranded until the borders reopen. Completely isolated, she must venture beyond her comfort zone. Slowly, she carves out a connection with the local family when a teenager with a secret opens up to Diana. Despite her father's suspicion of outsiders, Diana finds herself examining her relationships, her choices, and herself, and wondering if when she goes home, she too will have evolved into someone completely different. And then, of course, about the author, there's a picture of Jodi Picoult there on the left. Jodi Picoult is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of 28 novels, including Mad Honey, Wish You Were Here, The Book of Two Ways, A Spark of Light, Small Great Things, Leaving Time, The Storyteller, Lone Wolf, Sing You Home, House Rules, Handle with Care, Change of Heart, and My Sister's Keeper, and with daughter Samantha Van Leer, 2 young adult novels, Between the Lines and Off the Page. Picoult's books have been translated into 34 languages in 35 countries. 4 novels, The Pact, Plain Truth, The 10th Circle, and Salem Falls, have been made into television movies. My Sister's Keeper was a film released from New Line Cinema with Nick Cassavetes directing and Cameron Diaz starring. Mad Honey is currently in development for a series/film. Small Great Things has been optioned for motion picture adaptation. Picoult also wrote 5 issues of DC Comics' Wonder Woman. Picoult is the co-librettist for the stage musical adaptation of her 2 young adult novels. Picoult's 2 young adult novels, Between the Lines and Off the Page, co-written with her daughter Samantha Van Leer, which premiered off-Broadway in summer of 2021 and will be licensed through Music Theater International during the fall of 2022. She is also the co-librettist of the musical Breathe, which was inducted into the Library of Congress's Performing Arts COVID-19 Response Collection, and of the musical adaptation of The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. which will play at the Coventry Belgrade and the Leicester Curve in the fall of 2023. Pickle is the recipient of many awards, including the New England Bookseller Award for Fiction, the Alex Award from the YALSA, the YALSA, a Lifetime Achievement Award for Mainstream Fiction from the Romance Writers of America, the NH Literary Award for Outstanding Literary Merit, and the Sarah Josepha Hale Award. She holds Honorary Doctor of Letters degrees from Dartmouth College and the University of New Haven. She is a patron of the Carol Shields Prize for Fiction, which is awarded to female fiction writers. Picoult lives in New Hampshire with her husband. They have 3 children. She is a very busy woman. I'm surprised that she even finds time to write books. But we will actually now continue into the discussion questions about this book. So the first discussion question is, Diana was trapped in the Galapagos, unable to return to New York City due to travel restrictions. But she managed to make friends and explore the island every day. Do you think she would have been more or less isolated if she had stayed in the city? Question 2. Diana chooses to stay on Isabella, even though she knows it might mean getting stuck there. Would you have made the same decision? Has there ever been a time in your life when you make a split-second decision that surprised you? Third question. When Diana realizes she is stuck without any resources on the island, she is rescued by the generosity of Abuela. How does Abuela's instinct to come to a stranger's aid compare to Gabriel's instinct to preserve the needs of himself and his family first? Is one or the other's motivations better justified? Next question. Think about how Diana and Gabriel's relationship evolves over the course of the book. How does their understanding of one another compare to the way Diana and Finn relate? Next question. Why do you think Diana was able to form such a close bond with Beatrice? What can the book teach us about mental health and how to help those who are struggling? What did you think about the revelation that Diana didn't physically get stranded on Isabella after all? Did you see the twist coming, or did it surprise you? Slight spoiler there. Do you think unconscious, lucid experiences like Diana's have meaning? Are these experiences real in some way? You went too far? No. Okay, 13. Diana insists that she must have gotten COVID and imagined her time at the Galapagos for a reason, while Finn believes that viruses don't need reasons. What do you think about the way other people, Finn, Dr. DeSantos, Rodney, and others, react to Diana's experience? There we go, jumping too far. Diana instinctively connects with Kotami Ito over the Toulouse-Lautrec painting, something that held huge promise for Diana's career. When Diana returns to New York and recovers, she bumps into Kotami in Central Park, eventually meeting up regularly to walk together. Why do you think the author chose to include this storyline? Art is described as a partnership between the artist and the viewer. Do you agree? How does this relationship differ from the one between an art therapist and a patient? Diana and her mother have a complicated relationship, but by the end of the novel, Diana understands her mom much better and is finally able to forgive her. What do you think allowed Diana to forgive? In what ways do our relationships with our parents, even when those relationships are tense, define who we are? What was your reaction to Diana's increasing certainty that marrying Finn isn't what she wants for herself after all? Have you ever realized that the plans you have for your future don't actually align with your desires? Darwin's theory of natural selection, gleaned from his research in the Galapagos, addresses how isolation can be both a curse and a blessing. Has humanity evolved during the pandemic? Why or why not? COVID-19 changed Diana, from her job to her personal relationships. But how do you think those changes would have still happened if 2020 was quote unquote normal? How did the pandemic change you? What lessons did you learn about yourself? And what changes to your life will you keep as we move forward? How did you interpret the book's ending? Who do you think has saved Diana from falling? Wish You Were Here deals with a pandemic in ways that can be intense. Jodi Picoult even discusses in her author's note that she struggled with finding a way to process these unprecedented events and wondered, how do we tell the tale of how the world shut down and why and what we learned? How did reading about the pandemic compare to experiencing it? What kinds of emotions and reflections did the book bring up for you? What parts of the early pandemic had you already forgotten? Who would you cast to play the characters in a TV or movie adaptation of Wish You Were Here? That's a fun last question. These discussion questions, of course, are from actually Jodi Picoult's website. She has a PDF that has been uploaded that has Wish You Were Here discussion questions, and that's where I pulled those from. And now I am just going to quickly provide my own thoughts on the book. I wasn't ready to read about the pandemic yet. I feel like it just happened, and I can't believe it's already 2024 already. So that was crazy in itself. I think this book came out in like 2022. So it was just kind of at the tail end-ish before all of the stuff came out that we could somehow avoid the pandemic. But it was good, but I didn't enjoy reading about the pandemic already so quickly. Maybe in 10 years I'll be ready again. But it just brought me back to when we were living in Bloomington in a one-bedroom apartment and just being bored all the time. I mean, luckily we were healthy. We were very lucky in that way. But there's only so much cleaning you can do in a one-bedroom apartment. And of course, I couldn't go to work. So it was just it felt like a very long time and a very short time at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. But she wrote well. Her characterization is always very good. I always enjoy reading that. I just wasn't super excited about the setting. I did enjoy the scenes in the Galapagos. I've never been there. I thought that was interesting. And it was interesting to see the changes that Diana had over the course of the book, as well as her boyfriend, and then also Gabriel and Abuela as well. I enjoyed the characters. That was the highlight for me. I would half recommend this book just for the characters alone. I don't think I would have for the setting unless you're prepared to read about that. I, of course, went into it knowing that I would, but I was less than enthused to read about COVID-19 again. But other than that, it really was a good book. I just don't think I was in the right mindset to read it. But don't let my recommendation stop you from reading it if you want to. Jodi Picoult's, one of those classic authors that a lot of people enjoy reading because she puts out good stuff. So that concludes kind of my own thoughts of the book. I will have we'll do another book talk in, I believe, July. So I will see everybody then, and thank you for joining us for this one.